10 years ago, Regent Park was looked as an eyesore. People thought Regent Park was an area that was negative, drug infested, there was problems. What has changed now is the TCHC, the Toronto Community Housing Commission, and the Toronto Police Services work together to resolve the issues. You know, instead of officers answering radio calls, officers are now part of the community. We answer radio calls and we're also part of the community. With community police officers, we're there on a daily basis. People see us out walking, they see us on bikes. We're at community events. So we're part of the community. Instead of people seeing us driving by on a regular basis, they are able to place a name to the face and also to the car. That's made a great deal of changes in the community. The change has been amazing. The change culturally has changed. I mean, you have a mixed income, mixed living environment. You have rental, and you also have owned environment. So you have people that are coming out of the community. You know, you have the paint box where people are able to go out, and instead of having to leave their community all the time to go to dinner, and they're able to have dinner at a restaurant within the community. There's a grocery store that's in that area. There's a banquets right in that area. I remember before when people would talk on television about Regent Park, it was always negative. Now when you look at commercial or residential, people are saying, well, near Regent Park, we're building. So there's been a huge change, and it's been accepted within the community and also the city. And with that, you know, that's why the growth is continuing. And I see it growing even more over the next 5 to 10 years with everything that's going to be in place and when all the construction is completed. You know, the learning center that's there, also the after-school community center, the community center that's being built that is right there next to Nelson Mandela, the large community center. It'll be where, you know, not just the kids from Regent Park, but kids within the community can go to on a regular basis. There'll be social workers there, there's counselors there, there'll be people that can provide services. So instead of having to go to 6, 7 different buildings, you'll have all that in one building. You know, and then also, right next to Nelson Mandela, one of the public schools that are there, kids are gonna be able to see, you know, on a regular basis, you know, young people coming in, adults coming in and receiving services. And they're gonna be able to play basketball, and they're gonna have counselors there with them.
So the CRC itself just last year celebrated 50 years. And when it began in 1964, it began as an outreach ministry of the United Church of Canada, particularly Rosedale United Church. And the intent was to have a presence in the inner city. Canada was really starting to really urbanize during that time in the early 60s. To have an impact in the inner city that would make the lives of those that are living on the margins better. But the intent was never to just operate as a charity, just to do handouts and just to do charitable work, but the work was always going to be focused on trying to empower people, to help people help themselves. So to walk with people that are living in poverty, to walk with people that are struggling on the margins, and to help them to the best of our ability and their own ability to make their lives better. I often describe CRC, which is at 40 Oak Street, as being about food and housing. So the housing portion involves the 87 suites that are above us on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th floor, where about 100 people live. And this is what we call deeply affordable housing. And that's kind of our own term. And we use that term because the definition of affordable housing in Canada is 80% market rent. So you know a one-bedroom in Toronto is about $1,000. $800 would be way beyond the means of the people that we serve. So we are able to offer housing upstairs that ranges between $150 and $400 depending on a person's economic circumstances. And that is the type of living situation that they can afford.